Everyone's got their favorite guns for different purposes, and today I'm going to be telling you about the guns I like to carry with me when I'm out camping. How's it going, guys, and welcome to another episode of Coffee Talk. My name's Chad and this is the Hopeful Homestead. And in this series of videos, I like to talk to all the husbands and dads out there about all the hard things in life as we're just trying to make it through. And as we often do on this channel, we're talking about firearms today. Now, if you might remember, I already did a video on the guns I use to protect the homestead here, the guns I carry with me when I'm out here doing work during the day that are intended for that very purpose, for being beaten up, for being carried with me while I'm doing grunt work out here, working on the homestead. And those guns could be used for camping as well, of course, but I've got a few other guns that I like to use while camping that are specifically chosen for those purposes, among others, but they're always the ones I like to bring when I'm coming out here camping or sitting by the fire out here on the homestead at night. And the first thing on the list is, of course, your pistol. And in this list, I have two pistols and a rifle. And the first pistol, take it out of the holster here, is a Cimarron Thunderball. This is a cross-draw holster that I wear on the front left side of my belt, and so I can keep this nice and centered in front of me at all times when I'm out here. But this right here is a beautiful, beautiful work of art. A stainless mirror finish, 4 3/4 inch barrel, Cimarron Thunderball, chambered in .45 Colt. Just like my other revolver is a Cimarron Thunderer that's a 5.5 inch barrel. This is a 4 3/4 inch. Ejector rod housing is equal length to the barrel. It just looks good, you know? This one has a slammed hammer that is actually lower than the height of the rear sights. The regular version, that is the other Cimarron Thunderer, the hammer is more upright like most Colt single action army clones, which is what this is. This slammed hammer, it's actually also a wider hammer as well, is easier to reach and grab with the thumb. Being that this is single action, the trigger does absolutely nothing. And yes, if you haven't seen already, I made a video about why trigger discipline doesn't mean anything for single action army and lever guns. The hammer is what is dangerous for it. So you pull the hammer, it fires. You pull the trigger, nothing happens. You have to pull the hammer first in order for it to fire. And so with that being the main function of how this thing goes boom, the fact this hammer is slammed down and widened makes it really easy to reach up and grab for follow-up shots, which is really nice. And this, as you can see, has the bird's head grips with some nice design checkering on this wood, real wood grips. And this particular one, I don't know if you can tell, but looking down the sights, it has a little bit bigger of a front sight and a bigger groove for a rear sight than the current model Cimarron revolvers do, like the other one that I have. Those are smaller in terms of width for the sight. So this is easier to acquire a sight picture, being that these are stainless, rear and front are both stainless and thicker and wider. Easier to acquire a sight picture at night when you're in the dark, when you've got nothing other than your campfire lighting you. This thing is easy to see your sights at nighttime. And that's one of the main reasons I like this pistol for being on my hip the most. When I'm walking around the property at night or camping or here sitting by the fire, I can see the sights when it's dark. That's one of the main reasons for it. And it's just, you know, you pull this thing out and unload it and start cleaning it by the campfire at night, and you're sitting there polishing this thing with the glow of the fire glowing off of this stainless finish. It looks so good. This thing's all wood and steel. It is a beautiful, beautiful firearm. I think Cimarron doesn't even make the Thunderball anymore. This thing is a discontinued model. That hasn't been around for a while. I found this as a used gun that was in a like new condition, and boy, it looks and feels like it was brand new. I think it may have been fired a small handful of times and that's it. But this thing is just an absolute beauty, and it'll be a staple of the homestead for years to come, just like many of my other guns that I've talked about on this channel. Oh man, that's good. All right, the next gun I've got right here is a rifle that I keep stored in this leather scabbard that has a strap I can sling over me, and that way I can carry this effectively and then take it out of here and not have the strap be in my way. I don't like lever guns that have slings attached to them because of the way you deploy a lever gun. It just doesn't work as well. I like having it in a scabbard and taking it out, just holding it in my lap when it comes time to have protection around. But as you can see, this is a Rossi R92 20-inch in .45 Colt. Lever action rifle, all steel and wood. Beautiful, beautiful firearm with this rosewood stock. Rear buckhorn sights. You got a gold bead on the front for a front sight. You got your side loading gate for your ammunition here. This thing is completely empty. Same thing as revolvers, single action, unless the camera's cocked, so Trigger does absolutely nothing on this unless you have the hammer cocked, which on a lever gun, obviously you do this to rack one into the chamber and it simultaneously cocks the hammer for firing. But I will tell you, this rifle right here, I just picked it up this past summer. I mean, it is incredibly accurate. Being that this is an intended purpose of a pistol caliber carbine that you're shooting at targets, you know, within 50 yards of you, it's very accurate. It has got an extremely smooth action. I really enjoy that about this rifle, and it just fits me so dang well. You know, it's just such a buttery smooth, really fun to use rifle. And it looks good, man. I mean, just look at the beautiful stainless finish on that. Look at that shining in the sun. It's gorgeous. Absolutely love this thing. Which is another reason I love this, along with the revolver, is that it's stainless. It's easy to see and maneuver in the night when it's dark. I've got this, which can hold up to 10 rounds of 45 Colt in the tube, plus one in the chamber. But as I've mentioned a lot on this channel, I don't carry firearms with one in the chamber or under the hammer. That's my version of a safety and my version of trigger discipline. And out here, you know, when I go camping, in my VW van, or if I go camping in a tent or something, you know, anywhere else, this is the rifle and revolver I'll bring. But, you know, mainly for the main purposes is when I'm coming to camp at my cabin here, my tiny cabin on wheels that's parked out here at my little campsite I built on our 21-acre homestead here, what we're calling the Hopeful Homestead. Out here, we're bumping up to a 20,000-acre wildlife preserve where all kinds of panthers, alligators, wild boar, the occasional black bear. I mean, there's all kinds of wildlife, bobcats, everything out here that is looking to potentially harm you. So let me put this back in the scabbard and move on to the third firearm in this video, the third and final firearm in this video. Florida was tricking me last week. It was nice and cool out here. It's back to the mid-80s in mid-November. But that brings me to my final firearm, and that is a 6-inch Colt Python, chambered in 357 Magnum. Now this beauty of a gun, I do follow trigger discipline with, because it is a double action revolver. And it is also well balanced. That's part of the reason I have my finger in the trigger guard a lot on my single action army, is because the balance of that gun is very top and front heavy. So it's actually a lot easier to maneuver the weapon with your finger in the trigger guard, which I think is the way that it was designed. This is much more, even though it's got a bigger barrel, it's without my finger on the trigger guard, it doesn't creep, it doesn't fall down out of my hand very easily, even with a light grip. Whereas the Cimarrons, those things, especially with that bird's head grip, they are front heavy. They will slip out of your hand if you don't have a really tight grip on them. And if you've got sweaty hands, which happens a lot here in Florida doing workout on the property, that becomes an issue, which is why I carry those guns with my finger inside of the trigger guard. I will go ahead and unload this so I can roll through the action. Just got some pretty standard 357 Magnum ammo here that came from Bass Pro Shop. That's where I get all my ammo usually. But as you can see, this is a true wheel gun. It is a beaut as well. Being that it is a Colt, you pull on this release lever and it swings out the cylinder, makes it for easy cleaning, easy maintenance, easy reloading, and just fun to shoot out on the range. This has target sights on it, so it's very easy. It's got an orange painted front sight with a nice raised rear sight that makes it very easy to get a sight picture very quickly, especially being a 6-inch sight radius. It makes it easy to be able to acquire a sight picture and get rounds down on target when you need to. This has a fantastic trigger. The double action on this is very smooth. It's probably one of the best accurate firing pistols that I've ever fired. But the problem is it's 357 Magnum. Yes, I could load 38 specials in here, but then what am I doing? I'm putting 38 specials into something that ends up with a lesser impact than if I were to just carry the 45 Colt, with being a bigger round, bigger caliber with the same level of loudness. This is what I'm talking about. When I'm carrying this firearm, this is my hiking gun. This is what I carry in this holster. I thread through the back of it onto my chest. When I've got a backpack on, I'll have the cross sternum strap. I'll thread it through here and hold the gun like that on my chest as I'm hiking. So it's quick to grab, quick access if I need it when I'm hiking a trail out in nature, which is a situation where you can't carry a rifle. I mean, you could technically, but that's gonna be a pain in the butt trying to do a several mile hike with a rifle on your back. This is great because you can put some heavy 357 loads in here. Like I typically, when I do go out on a hike, I will carry this with Buffalo Bore Outdoorsman ammunition, which is a heavy load 357 Magnum that has got a 158 grain, I want to say, flat nose hard cast lead bullet that is designed to not break apart when it cuts through muscle tissue and bone. It will just keep penetrating deep, which is what it's designed to do for big game defense when you're out in, hiking in nature. And so that stuff is loud and it has heavy recoil. And this big heavy gun helps manage it quite a bit. The longer barrel, the heavier weight, the ergonomics of how this is designed, the big nice gunfighter grip allows me to be able to deploy that ammunition when need be without having too much recoil so that I can get follow-up shots if necessary. And being that it's double action, I can get 6 rounds off very quickly in sequence if I have to. If something's actually actively charging me, I can get 6 rounds off of powerful ammunition very fast with easy to acquire sight radius, which is why I love this for hiking out in the woods when I can only carry one gun with one caliber. I need to be able to count on it with quick shots. This is what I carry. And being that it is also a stainless firearm, it's easier to see and maneuver and operate at night and in the dark while camping. You see a theme here with the stainless being outside at night. Stainless firearms are easier to see and handle than blue, dark, black firearms are. But I will, now that it is not loaded, show you what the action is like on this. It is buttery smooth. You can see that that does not have a firing pin on the hammer. This has a transfer bar, meaning that I can fire, that this will not fire unless I pull the trigger. The transfer bar comes up, transfers that energy from the hammer to the firing pin that hits the actual round. So this has got such a nice linear trigger pull that is very easy to do, and it's just truly a pleasure to shoot, which it should be. This is, nearly a $2,000 pistol. This should be a joy to shoot and easy to shoot. But all right, I'm gonna go ahead and get this loaded back up. And I do, as I've mentioned with my other revolvers that are the single action Army clones that have the firing pin on the hammer, it is not safe to load all 6 into those cylinders. I load 5. I do the cowboy load where you load one, skip one chamber, and then load the remaining 4. The Colt Python, I load all 6 because of that transfer bar. It's safe to carry all 6 in here without any harm. So I do carry 6 rounds in here for maximum ammo capacity, maximum power and velocity, and penetration capability, all in this gun right here when you only have one gun to make it count out in the wild with no one to call for help. You would think I wouldn't be drinking hot coffee when I'm sitting out here sweating in the sun, but I like coffee too much. But all right, guys, that's gonna do it for this video. I hope I explained the guns and my choices wisely for why I decide to carry these while I'm camping or sitting around the fire here on the homestead at night. I enjoy having guns for different purposes, as many of you I'm sure do as well, because this is America, and why have one gun when you can have many? I appreciate you watching all the way through if you did. Again, my name is Chad. This is the Hopeful Homestead. Hit the like button and let me know in the comments what you thought of these, and if you guys go camping, what kind of guns you bring when you're camping, and if those guns differ from the way you decide to protect yourself in other scenarios. And if you feel like sticking around, and if you're a man of faith, then maybe check out this video right here where I go into scripture in the Bible, how it actually talks about why we're allowed to carry and own firearms and even use them for self-defense. There's actually scriptures that back that up. So go check that out, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you, guys.